And Mariana is also the author of this one, what I will show you. ¿Pueden llamar a Mariana? I can show you more. This
This
breaks,
podcast
and
is
then
sponsored by Demo Day
this
Records.
other one is also very interesting. It's from the same author from Chiapas, the one that of the monsters. He works with his grandmother, and he works for more than 10 years in a quest of his own identity.
How did
It's very
How did
unusual.
they get to meet you? I mean, how did they find out about?
Well,
and
many
vice
of them I
versa?
knew because I've been in teaching activities for many years. And then I made this program where all these books come from. It's called Incubadora de Foto Libros, where authors that want to make a book apply, and then they work with very different editors, designers, artists.
Okay.
And so they get like many different views of possibilities of making a book. And they work around 1 year in like 8 meetings, and they make a lot of experimentation. They really think of what they want to do with the book. Yeah. So Mariana is also here with her new book, and it would be nice that she would introduce.
You want to hold it?
Well, I have this collection which is
Mariana.
yeah, hi,
Bueno,
I'm Mariana.
can you tell her name?
I'm Mariana Gruener. I come from Mexico. I've been working with books for many years, and I always like to experiment with books. In this time, I made this collection, which is called Unsettled Moments, and it's a collection of 5
Can you
books.
show us,
Oh,
please?
it's a collection of 5 books, which I work with drawings, text, and photographs. And basically, they are all related from a big text I wrote on a cell phone for like 2 years. On the dead moments, I call like all those moments that you're in traffic or you're waiting, and so what it comes to your mind and what you think about like your life. And
Give us some examples. Tell us about that one.
like, for example, I was thinking like I have a cell phone and I'm in my car and I can't move. And I was thinking I needed my studio and I need a table. And then I realized that using my mobile phone, I didn't need the studio anymore because I had a way to, you know, like draw and write. And so I recognize, like, as Virginia Woolf said, every woman needs a room. In this case, I had my cell phone, so I was able to keep working in those dead moments of like being in a big city and moving around. So basically, like all these drawings that it can be like very childish, well, they are all talking about like, you know. Yeah.
Okay. To
Okay.
edit this thing, so I'll make sure I just record in one. Okay. Um, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah.
Okay, and all the books are kind of related. I mean, this is the text I was talking about, Dead Moments, which it was written in the cell phone for 2 years. And the idea of being the text like this is that you scroll, like you scroll in the cell phone, and then you're reading and reading all these like small ideas that you can write in 5 minutes. Or
Read some of that, please?
oh, how much a woman can think confined to her room, and then it has this text of Albert Camus, which it says that one man that lived one day had enough memories to live in a jail for the rest of his life. And so writing on my mobile phone, it's pleasant. I can do it in any situation.
Why in English?
Oh,
Why?
no, actually, it's written in Spanish. I have
The Spanish version is
Yeah,
there.
but if we come to Photo London, it has to be in English. But all the text is written in Spanish.
Okay.
So basically, it's like you keep going and going and going. So 2 years of thinking, in these dead moments about, what it means to be a woman, what it means to live in a city, what it means to be changing.
Do you want to read this?
This one?
Yes.
If I were an artichoke and someone would like to get to the heart, what would they have to remove?
What does that mean?
Well, that means that, like artichokes, they're all closed, but in the middle they have their heart. So what do they have to take off to get to the heart? And the best part of the artichoke. So, and from that, I made this one too, which is a small, these are like brief texts. I write a lot, and I'm trained as a writer also, not just as a visual artist. And these texts, I wrote it when I was 49. So I work with memory, I work with identity, I work like, I think about being a woman, about being a mother, about like how body changes with age and what it means to a woman to have the body changing, and basically at the end I'm saying that I prefer going to funerals than to weddings, because in funerals people hug you and there's more comprehension than in weddings. But then my father died, and so it was not the same to go to his funeral that to other people's funerals. So I am talking about that, and I am talking about having,
Can you read something from it?
yeah,
Okay.
like for example, well, as a child, I loved playing hide and seek, and I could be hidden for a long time in a closet, a trunk, or a piece of furniture while I heard how life went out without me. Basically, this text is about hiding but wanting to be seen. And so, the idea of making these books is that I want to be seen by somebody that reads the book and gets in touch with me through the words and through the drawings and through the photographs. And it's a kind of connection that I'm always looking for. And in this other, I actually, what I wanted to do is this whole collection with magnets to have them, stick together. And so they stick together and they make like a sculpture, which is a free sculpture, because actually every person can decide to have one or to have two or five, or there are going to be more in the future. So basically the idea is that you will have like a self-contained library that sticks together and makes a sculpture.
Can you
And
show us an example of how
yeah,
that would work?
like for example like this. And the thing of the subtle moments is that they tend to fall off, and they tend to, you have to find a way to keep them standing, because that's life. They can fall, you can fall off, but then you find a way to stick in a way to keep standing up. And so you can play in many ways to put the books together and each person could have its own sculpture. It's never going to be the same between people. And the last one, which is the only photo book in this collection right now, because I'm going to make more, but this is about a premonition of knowing that someone that I really care about is going to die. So, what do I do with that premonition and how it feels, and how can I express only with images how it feels to know that you're gonna lose somebody? So, it's only about this feeling. I went to my stock of photography, and I work with my stock of my own photographs that I've been taking for many years, just following the idea of death is around the corner. So it came out this, little book with only knowing that death is around the corner. And so, well,
Well, can you show us some of the symbols?
yeah, well, this little guy here, or like, oh, sorry.
Oh, okay. It goes all the way out.
The nice thing of this is that actually you could actually see it, as a long stripe, or you can see it as a book, whatever you want. I mean, that's what I like about books that I make, is that they can be, seen in many ways. It can happen different things. It's more like a playful thing. But it's not playful because I'm always talking about very serious things. And so, it's about this unsettled moment, like falling off, or these nice, toys, but they are all covered with snow, you know, or
Who's
these
this
things.
guy here?
This guy, well, the symbol of the Katrina or the death in Mexico is very common, and we are really used to seeing it everywhere. So this guy is everywhere where you turn around in Mexico
Really?
because
Oh, what, on every street corner? Or?
no, but I mean the symbol is we use it a lot, and we have
Yeah.
the Day of the Death, and we're like always um, like in this relationship with death in Mexico, which is part of our life. Oh, again, it's falling. It wants to go away. But
Tell me, is there a lot of superstition there tonight?
yeah, there's a lot of superstition in Mexico. But also, is that we have, I think, a good relationship with death because we are friends with it. We talk about it. We have our Day of the Death, and we like to go to the cemetery and talk to the dead people, and so and at the
Oh,
end,
look at that.
again,
What does that
if
say?
you
Hang on.
if you love me, you don't leave me.
Can you say that in Spanish?
Si me amas, no me dejes.
So maybe
Okay.
we go on with the other project of the other
Yes,
side?
absolutely. Do you want to
Okay.
say your name and say you're here with the Fish Out of Water podcast?
With the official
Fish Out of Water
Out
podcast.
of Water. I'm Mariana Gruener. And I'm here with the official water podcast.
You want to say that in Spanish, please?
Soy Mariana Gruener y estoy aquí con el podcast
What? In English.
Out of
The fish out of water,
the Fish Out of Water.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fish
Yeah.
Out of Water.
That's it. Yeah.
Thank you.
I
Gracias.
will say it at the end too.
Yes, please.
So let's go to the other, but you have to carry your stuff.
Thank you.
I'm first gonna explain you the project, and then there is one author here, two
Mhm.
authors here.
Two. Yeah.
This that now looks very organized was very nice chaotic yesterday. I liked it yesterday. No, this is it's the start of a very important project for us because I've been dreaming of it for 10 years. It's a collective project about Latin American photographers, and I had it in mind because I believe that publishers in Latin America, there are lots of publishers, and there's more and more and more and more all the time, and there's really a need to publish books. And it's very difficult to get to fairs, and it's very difficult to move the books around. They don't cross borders. There are a lot of taxes. It's very expensive, and many of these. So I started. I had this idea in mind, and I had bought the domain fotolibros.lat, Latin America, and like 1.5 months ago, I decided to run it. Because Ben Golder, the curator of the fair, invited me and to come, and I said I go, but if I do that, and so I started to call independent publishers in Latin America, and I'll present you one of the women that really pushed me to start.
As a book fair or a publisher, do the exhibitors or the exhibition sponsor
No.
the trip,
No.
all of this?
Nobody.
Okay. Right. So yeah.
No, we have even to pay
Okay.
everything.
Okay.
Everything, the shipping, the traveling, the stay. When you go to fairs in Latin America, they normally invite you because they are very kind. But when you go to fairs to another places like Europe, you are normally not invited.
What about America? What's the
It depends. You can apply to as a grant at Printed Matter, but in general, you also pay your expenses.
So what's the reaction so far out of all these exhibitions? Which one's been the most?
We always are very. People normally love our books because they're different, because they're handmade, because some of them are very experimental. But this particular project is something that has never happened because There are 70 publishers. I mean, when I started to call small publishers and independent authors, and everybody got on board. So there are 70 publishers and authors here. And many of them have a few books, others have many books, but all got on board because the idea is to go as a collective to different fairs and to be able to have them in Europe and to get to European audience in that case, and later we'll make it also in Latin America. But to put together all this, then there are much more down there. I mean, there are only a few because now they try to be very organized, and yeah, please do that. They became organized, and now it looks organized, but it's actually a lot. Perdió su, me encantaba, pero estaba encantada, maravilloso.
Do you want to show us? Let's speak
Yeah,
to
I mean, it's complicated. Yeah, so we have, now we have 3 authors here. Fernanda, ¿quieres venir? One of the authors that really did, I mean, I want to say something else. I mean, we decided that the whale is, I decided that the whale was going to be our symbol because whales, I was actually going to watch whales in Baja California where they give birth. And the whale is a really poetical animal that goes from completely the north to the south and goes, that crosses all the frontiers and doesn't know about frontiers. So the whale became our symbol. And one of the first persons I called was Fernanda from Chile. She will tell her own name. And she said, I'm jumping in a plane. So this really gave me a lot of courage to go on because this is a very kind of kamikaze enterprise. So without people that are the same kamikaze people like us, it's very complicated. So she came from Chile to present her book, and she can explain her own book.
Okay, so this project is a project about memory. It's about my country's memory. I'm from Chile, and I made this book with the story of a place called Casa Piedra, which means house made of stone in English. And it's the story about this illegal detention center that was working in Chile in the dictatorship of Pinochet. So this place was operating from the year, they say maybe from 82 till 86. It's not clear because obviously all of this was illegal and it was not dictatorship. From 73 until 89. It was 17 years of dictatorship, and now we actually had the 50 years anniversary of the coup d'état a few years ago, and in Chile we still have people that denies what happened, denies that there was torture and that there was missing people and killing. So still today it's very important to do this exercise of memory and talk about what happened. So through pictures and testimonies, I look to rebuild the story of this place and talk about the emotional charge that it has, like as a space. And I spoke with 10 people that are related to this place, maybe because they were detained here or because they had family members who were tortured here.
So what happened to this person?
Okay, this is the central testimony. This is Mario Fernandez. He was a worker from La Serena, the city where all this happened. And he was detained in the year 82, and he was brought to this place where he was tortured because they were trying to get information out of him. And they said that he was a communist, but he really was just involved in social work. And what happened with him is that they took it too far, and in detention centers, they used to have doctors who would take who would examine the prisoners, so they wouldn't die, so they could like harm them without killing them, right? So what happened with Mario Fernandez is that they took it too far and they had to abandon him in a hospital. And in the hospital, the doctors realized that this was no accident, as they told them, and they realized this was torture. So they called a lawyer who wrote down the whole declaration of Mario Fernandez before he went into surgery. And then he died in surgery. So this was the first time in the dictatorship where there was a record, like proof that this was really happening. And so he's a martyr who, thanks of him, this place started to be shut down, right?
What do they do to them?
Yeah, it's very tough. Like they would apply electricity and hit him with sticks and just like try to inflict pain in the worst way possible so that he would talk.
Maybe she could speak because in Chile, Argentina, like most of the population really was erased. They killed parents, they left children alone. There are so many people missing from the dictatorship. That's unbelievable. And the ones that Mexico was one of the countries that took in like most of the refugees from Chile. And I grew up with them. So it's really a very important. I mean, Latin America has the worst dictatorships ever in the last century.
Yeah, and this is because back then the official communication said that there was no disappearance of people. They told their families that they left the country, and they were saying there was no torture and there was no violence, and they had control of all the communication media. So people actually believe that. But today that we have all this documentation talking about what happened, there is still people who says that this didn't happen. It's unbelievable. And Chile is a fractured country because of this. And it's very difficult to talk about dictatorship. It's very difficult to talk about this subject. So I think even though this is like a difficult book to read, to have, I think it's also necessary.
Where is this?
This is in La Serena. The house is in La Serena, is a city in the 4th region of Chile, a bit norther than Santiago. And
What is this for?
okay, this is a symbolic picture because there was this is a train line part. I don't know how you call it in English. Like a train track. And there's testimonies that said that they were taking people in helicopters, like prisoners, and then they would tie them to train tracks and throw them from the helicopters. So when I found this in this place, I just took the picture because it's very symbolic of what happened, right? So there is a lot of things that, like the ways they tortured these people is just inhuman, and many of these people, of the people who did this, are still free and they haven't paid for any of the things they did. So it's also important to talk about this because we don't want it to happen again, even though sometimes that seems like something impossible. Well, before all of this happened, no one thought it was possible, and it still did. So, yeah. And then you have the translation in English at the end of the testimonies. Ah, yeah. My name is Fernanda Soto Mastrantonio. Yes. And the
And you're speaking with the Fish Out of Water podcast.
You have to say your name, and I'm talking for.
I'm talking for
Two.
two. I'm talking to
Fish out of the water.
Fish Out of the Water. Okay, I didn't understand that. My name is Fernanda Soto Mastrantonio, and I'm talking to Fish Out of the Water podcast.
Say that in Spanish.
Soy Fernanda Soto Mastrantonio y estoy hablando con Fish Out of the Water podcast.
Now we have two other authors here. Romina, she doesn't speak English, but she can show her book. And Giovanni, he speaks English. So, no sé I don't know who we start first.
Okay, we'll start off.
We can start with the one she doesn't speak English, and I'll translate. It will be brief. Sí. She's Romina, and she also was one of the one that did really was a power force to give me energy to make it, because she also said, I jump into the plane and I come to London, and she made this book that is called Desierta. Y tú dime, yo
Desierta habla de las marcas y las huellas que tiene el cuerpo y el territorio.
Desierta speaks about the traces
El desierto de Atacama.
that has the Atacama Desert and the body, the landscape and the body, and the body, all the traces.
What does she mean by that?
¿Qué quieres decir con eso?
Bueno, Desierta nace desde una marca mía personal de un abuso que tuve cuando niña. Entonces,
Desierta starts and it comes from an abuse she had as a child.
se cruza con las marcas y todo el como dolor que tiene el territorio, el paisaje, el desierto de Atacama.
And it crosses with all the pain and the marks that the Atacama Desert has.
Y es una reflexión a la marca de los cuerpos.
It's a reflection about the marks that the body carries.
Y la palabra desierta también está resignificando como el desierto, ¿cierto? Que se ve siempre como algo muy masculino y es algo muy femenino porque es muy latente de vida.
And Desierta is making a resignification of the desert that in Spanish is always spoken in masculine, and as she says desierta and not desierto, she retakes it in a feminine aspect. ¿Qué es eso?
Todas estas son intervenciones que están a mano en cada libro, en cada fotolibro, en donde refleja un poco también esa niñez que quedó atrapada, ¿cierto?, en este proceso de marca.
All these parts are handmade interventions that are different in each book that reflect the child that got trapped into that mark of the abuse.
Y reflexionar, o sea, finalmente eso, como reflexionar frente a los territorios, como pensar en todas las marcas que vamos dejando en lugares tan importantes como el desierto de Atacama, por ejemplo, y también en nuestros cuerpos, en nuestras vivencias.
It's a reflection to think about all the marks and all the traces and that we leave in the territory and that we make in the territory and in our own bodies, physically and emotionally.
Sí, también que esta fotografía es muy femenina. Tiene muchas imágenes que evocan como esto.
And this way of photography is also very feminine, and it has a lot of images that try to evoke the feminine aspect.
Are these, is that something you found or
Que si es
do you
encontrado
put it together,
o si tú lo pones.
for example?
Es encontrado.
It's found.
Esta, bueno, esa no, esa sí
This one she did put it together.
Sí, la muñeca esa
Yeah.
sí la llevé a muchas fotos.
She did bring the
Que era
doll
de mi
to many
infancia.
pictures because it was from her own childhood.
Pero todo el resto es encontrado.
But all the rest is found.
What's this here?
¿Qué es?
Esto es una instalación que quedó en medio de un cerro y son
¿Pero de qué?
de alambre. Sí,
Pero, ¿quién la
¿qué cosa?
La
Esto
instalación.
está tirado, o sea, son como espacios que quedan como instalaciones.
Yeah, somebody did a fence and it just stayed there and.
Tell me, I'm wondering, as a female artist in Mexico, did
No,
you
in
get?
Chile.
Sorry, in Chile.
Desierto
You
de
talked about
Atacama.
Mexico there,
Yeah.
right? So this is Chile now.
Now we're in
yeah?
Latin America.
All right. So in Chile, did you get any abuse from society, or
Que
were
si
they
abusa la
complimentary?
sociedad de alguna manera en Chile de las mujeres.
Yo creo que estamos en un proceso importante y por supuesto que sí, porque Hoy día se dicen privilegios, pero ha sido una lucha por tener donde estamos hoy día, digamos, aún.
She thinks that yes, because it has been a very long and difficult struggle, because they say now there are no abuse anymore, but this has been a really strong fight, and there are still a lot of violations to the.
Hay muchos tipos de violencia, tanto sí, también a nosotras como abuso, ¿cierto? Desde muchas veces desde los hombres, pero también hay algo más importante. O sea, hoy en Chile las mujeres ganan 20% menos que los hombres y eso es una violencia económica tremenda.
There is still abuse not only of men towards women, but also that in the economy, women like earn a 20% less than men in their jobs, and this is an abuse.
Y desde
And
ahí
much more.
sumamos.
Tell me,
Yeah.
are there any instances where it's the opposite way around, where the women are abused?
Hay lugares donde las mujeres abusan de los hombres.
Yo creo que sí, en todo el mundo puede suceder, pero está muy marcada. Hay muchos femicidios hoy día.
She thinks yes, it can happen everywhere, but also in Chile, like in Mexico, there are a lot of feminicides, like a lot of women get killed. Yeah.
So, do you know anyone in particular, personally?
Que si conoces a alguien personalmente que hayan matado.
Sí, yes, la familia no la alcancé a conocer a ella personalmente porque han sido niñas más pequeñas. En Copiapó, donde yo vivo, en este momento hay alrededor de 5 mujeres desaparecidas y todas son muy jóvenes.
Yes, she didn't know the kid, but she did know the family, because in Copiapó, where she lives, there have been many young girls or women disappeared. And yeah, she did meet the family, so she knows the families.
También una de ellas fue llevada en un taxi por un abusador que estaba en la cárcel y lo soltaron y volvió a lo mismo y la mató.
One of them was taken in a taxi from a perpetrator, an abuser that was in jail, but they let him get out, and he kidnapped her and killed her.
Y de una otra manera, este trabajo tiene mucho que ver también con eso, porque mi voz parte desde un abuso sexual de niña y se conecta, digamos, como desde esa historia me sensibiliza también.
And this work has a lot to do with that, because it starts from an abuse she had as a child, so she really connects with that a lot.
Okay. I mean, does this mostly happen in rich neighborhoods or poor neighborhoods?
Que si
or
pasa
any
en algunas, que si pasa en algunos barrios en particular o en otros.
Eso es muy transversal, pero yo creo que el norte de Chile es como un lugar, bueno, dicen que Copiapó es principalmente un espacio en donde se da mucho esto por el paisaje donde estamos, el territorio donde hay mucho desierto, entonces de hecho las chicas que están desaparecidas están en el desierto en alguna parte, en un pique minero, en un lugar.
Yeah, I mean, it happens everywhere, but in the area where she lives, because it's in the north of Chile, where the desert is, it happens more because of the kind of territory. That means that they get lost. I mean, they just drop them in the desert, and it's very difficult to find them. It's the same like in Mexico. You have like the one time, very often they just find graves where you can find tons of people buried there, or the mothers that are trying to find their children. They go for years on the desert with a stick, trying to find where these graves are.
Pero,
Estoy añadiendo.
ajá, pero también todos estos temas creo que los hemos podido visibilizar a través de nuestro arte, en este caso la fotografía, y también como grupos de mujeres que se han levantado y han trabajado para que esto vaya visibilizándose y parando también.
But these kind of themes have been like brought up to light with especially with groups of women that have worked and fight to make this come true. There's somebody.
Let's see some more.
¿Ah?
Let's see some more of it.
Enseña más del libro y ya. Wow.
Are these all analog?
Analog.
No, digital, pero como sin intervención.
They're digital, but without any interventions.
Uh-huh. What's this say?
¿Qué dice?
Las marcas quedan en todos los cuerpos.
The marks stay in all the bodies.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Now she has to say
Her name, yes,
tu
absolutely.
nombre.
Soy
Fish Out of Water podcast.
Estoy hablando para Fish Out of the Water podcast.
Hola, soy Romina Sid y estoy hablando para Fish of the...
Out of the water.
Ay, no.
Out of the Water podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to a Fish Out of Water podcast. Should you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please get in touch. This podcast is sponsored by Demo Day Records.